The future of the race marches forth on the feet of children. It is up to the family and what is taught in the home that brings forth the rising generation. I'm going to explain to you today how a loving and learning atmosphere in the home is the focal point of a strong community. And I'll be using gospel and worldly examples to do this. To begin, I want to share with you a personal experience of time when I have grown, or of my home growing up. As a young child, we would have a weekly family home evening, like many of the families that you probably grew up in as well. During this time, not only did we learn what we do in the case of a fire or an emergency, how to plan for food storage and self-reliance, but as well how to prepare and be spiritually self-reliant. These were things that I use now as a college student, alone and by myself. What would I do in the case of a fire? What would I do in the case of a spiritual emergency, where I need to cling to hope? Today in our world around us, we're experiencing a very unique crisis, where families need to be strong and united in order to fight this. We've seen how a strong family-centered religion has helped us in order to increase our spiritual strength, as well as having that learning and knowledge throughout life to be a temporal strength as well. An example of this is a family as seen on the flip side. I was mentoring a young girl from a family, and she became increasingly anxious as the coronavirus became more of a threat. Her parents would tell her all the worst case scenarios, and she was not well informed about what was actually going on and how to prevent it. Seeing the difference between this and my own young sister being raised in a loving and learning atmosphere where the coronavirus was talked about in an uplifting way, where it was something that could be taken care of and things that we could do to take precautions against it. Seeing these two differences, one can draw the conclusion that a loving atmosphere where one can learn in a safe environment is so important to the development of children. And as stated before, the future of the race of life, marches forth on the feet of children.